Hi everybody, Scott here. I'm both a counsellor and an MBTI practitioner. If you're interested in those services, please visit my website. The link is in the description. Also, if you'd like to support my videos, check out Patreon in the link in the description to support me. So in this video today, I'm going to look at SI versus NI. So with SI, a way I've described it in the past, and it may not necessarily be experienced by SI DOMs the way I'm describing it, but it's just for me a helpful way of sort of understanding that SI function, in that it's like a huge selection of filing cabinets filled with detailed information in all of the folders and files. And that depending on what's going on around them, it's like the sensory world stimulates various cabinets, folders and files, and brings that to the present. And the way I sort of see it is when an SI DOM is interacting with someone, maybe they're looking for help, is the helping part. I think this is especially true possibly for ISFJs and ESFJs, is the need of the other person is kind of like the light that then shines on those folders. So it's like they hear a need, they hear a call for help, and that becomes the lens, if you like, in which they search out their filing system on the inside to like their historical files, in order to bring some information, some information that might be helpful, or an idea or something like that. So I almost see it like the way I've sort of described NI and NE. If I look at it similarly from the position of SI, it's like when the SI DOM is focusing on the other person, it's like SI sort of penetrates through the person, picks up on the need or the area that requires help, and it sort of like it goes through the person, and then they access all of their files and information, and then kind of pull, and it's like that's the past, and then pull it back through the person to sort of provide that information or that help to the person that they're engaging with. I'm sort of messing with the metaphor, if you like, with SI being introverted going into the self. I understand that, but sort of a helpful way of viewing it, that the SI sort of penetrates the person, picks up on the need, goes into their filing system, grabs the helpful information, then pulls it back into the present. So accesses those historical files and brings it back to the present. I've described NI in my previous video, NI and NE, but maybe to describe it in a slightly different way. When NI goes into the person and spreads out, like I've mentioned in the other video, it's like NI grabs onto the data of the past, the present, and the future, and kind of pulls it all together into the person that they're looking at. And it's almost like the NI has a completed picture of the person based on everything that they're saying, kind of pulls it all together, and then sort of naturally compares that with the way the person is seeing themselves or seeing an issue currently. And it's like the NI is able to see the present. Sorry, let me say that differently. NI is able to see the completed person based on their history, their present, and where they're going in their future, and then is able to recognize where the person is sort of like missing some pieces, or is stuck, or is not quite seeing their true self, is probably another way of describing it. And so then the NI is able to kind of mirror the two and then speak into the person the aspects of their completed self that they need to grab onto. Something like that. Where I sort of see SI and NI as kind of similar is in its stillness. I think SI has this it kind of feels like it's cool, and I think others would see NI as cool, but it's like there is a piercingness to SI, but it's kind of that piercingness is probably SI targeting information, like seeking out specific knowledge or information within itself. And sometimes I think that can be misread by people as disengaged, disconnected, not present, or that sort of thing. But it's like they kind of go, that's like they're in something, they're talking or whatever, and some aspect of what's being spoken about pulls them back into their SI, where they're matching that up against their historical data, or are remembering something quite vividly or strong. It's not that they're not in the room or not interested. It's that they're doing some heavy processing, and but to others it could feel like, hang on, where have they gone? So that's whereas I think NI might look similar, but I think what's going on is quite different. It's almost like NI does the same thing, but like in reverse, in that when NI is focusing on something, whereas the SI is kind of going back into the self, if you like. NI is kind of focusing in on the other, and is trying to read something that's coming through the person that they're engaging with. And you could almost say that NI could look like it gets lost in the other person. The other could feel that, or potentially also misread what that is. Either feel, I think some people can feel, depending on how the NI Dom is using it, if you like, in the moment, but others can feel as though they're being looked through by other people. So whereas SI feels like the SI Dom's is disengaging, so the NI is super engaging. But because it's kind of only happening kind of in the eyeball, if you like, but also maybe body language is doing it too, it can feel there can be an intensity about, for the other person, potentially how they're experiencing that NI gaze, if you like. So it's like NI is fully present in the other person, whereas the SI Dom is present in the past with the other. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, they're just a few thoughts that I wanted to share about the SI versus NI. And just to reiterate, I'm a counsellor and an MBTI practitioner. If you're interested in finding out more about that, click the link to my website in the description. Feel free to check out my Patreon if you're getting value out of these videos and would like to support me in a small way on Patreon. Check out that link. And I thank you again for watching to the end of this video, and I'll see you again in another video.